I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we start off, is there a confirmation on that? Russ? Excuse me one second.
That's all right, go ahead.
Is there a confirmation it's recording?
It's in the, it's on screen. You're good.
Okay, all right, got it. All right, thank you.
The red light blinking.
Got it. So I want to solicit a motion to add the union grievance, which relates to equipment safety. I would propose that we add it in around between 8 and 9 when we're dealing with fleet status. Do I have a motion to add that to the agenda?
Sure.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. So first, it's approval of the minutes of the last regularly held meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes this file?
So moved.
All in
Aye.
favor? Aye. All right. Section for public comments. Do we have any public comments? Limited to 3 minutes each. For public comments. All right. Next, Paul, Fire Marshal's report.
Thank you. First, I'd just like to apologize for not being able to attend November's meeting. If you'd like, I can review the incidents from November 1st that I responded to, or are we good with November?
I think we're good with that. I think
Okay.
Bill had spoken to part of it and we adopted it as filed. So I think we
Okay.
can stick to this one.
So for December, I responded to 4 incidents and investigated 4 incidents. 111 Cherry Street was a transformer issue. It ended up being the wires between the transformer and the service panel had burned up. Cause of that likely was a nicked wire, and the conduit was full of water. So the electrician was able to remedy that, replace all the wires, and they were back in service late that evening. 149 Ramhorn. Likely was an electrical fire. At this point, the exact cause is undetermined. Maple Street, 21 Maple Street, the view, we had an oven fire, was confined to the oven. I followed up on that. The oven was tested the following day and placed back in service. 110 Sagamore Trail was a chimney fire, was extinguished. I followed up with the owners. I was able to help them get a chimney service company to go over there, and they cleaned it, checked for damage, and again, that chimney's back in service. Going down the list, St. Aloysius School, that started up again the beginning of this month. So they are projected to complete this summer. Just touch on new items, the YMCA, the generator and the battery storage. All the paperwork went up to the siting council by the first of the year. That's expected to come online. We still have some alarm issues to work out, but that should be in service shortly. The Irwin House demolition over there is pretty much complete. We issued our first blasting permit, my second in my tenure in 5 years, with 76 Louise's Lane. Had a blasting project up there. It lasted about a week, completed just before Christmas. And a new project permit was just issued for 272 Elm Street, the vacant bank building on the corner there. It's going to become a new pet store. That project should begin this week. I met with the owner yesterday about a couple fire related, the fire alarm system and that sort of thing. But that's really, unless anybody has any questions on anything on my report, that's it for my report.
Bobby?
Chief's report.
Chief's report for December, two thank you notes we received this month. Residents of 79 Lake Wynn, Group 2 responded to a CO call, ended up being a generator running. I think it was an installed house generator that it was going into the house. They identified Lieutenant Sasser, Moley, firefighters Moley, Cantrell, and Freeland were on the call, and they identified a problem with the install of the fresh air setup. I think Paul was actually there too, if you want to add to that, but they sent us a thank you note. And then we had a thank you note and a donation from incident back in the summer from 66 Elm Place, where a resident had a flashback on his grill. Group 4 responded to that. Lieutenant Doan at the time, firefighters VJ, Diorio, Russell, and Dominic Barishko, which is one of our volunteers. So thank you notes from both of them. Incidents, 94 calls for service. Paul mentioned the 4 fires that we responded, the actual coded fires we went to. One was that mutual aid, was Ramhorn, which was also a mutual aid call. So we thank all the departments that responded with us to that. The response data, we are based on 56 emergency responses this year. So our numbers little high on our turnout and FPA turnout time for this month. No specific reason. And our travel times and total response times are within average. And then our rest of our numbers that are there, we had 170 hours of volunteer standby time. A couple of college kids are back that are standing by. 7 multiple incidents at the same time also, which was a little high for the month. Training, we did 297 topic hours, 3,000, just under 3,100 personnel hours of training. I'm going to have the AC go into that in a little more detail. The only thing I'll mention additionally on training is the 6 company members that they completed the Fire 2 practical part of the test. So they still have to take their written, but we're working on getting them certified up to Fire 2. So I'll let you jump in there.
Okay, for training, what I figured we'll do moving forward is I can give you basically a broad overview of what we're doing each month and base it on the ISO requirements. That's the insurance organization that we use to rate us. So I'll go by topics within ISO. So company training, which we have to do 192 hours a year. We did conventional forcible entry, chimney fire. So we're trying to match up the training that we're doing with the frequency of calls. So this time of year is a lot of chimney fires. Multiple dwelling operations. That was also in response to the 21 Maple Street. We did a little after action of that and then reviewed some operations there. So we did standpipe operations and search. We've been going over new extrication equipment. So we did tool labs, which gave us a really nice opportunity to cut a whole bunch of cars and refine our extrication operations. Driver training is another area. Driver training, I'd like to thank all the officers for taking out the newer members, and we're working along with some of our newer members with their driver training. Lieutenant Vetti created a winter operations for apparatus video. So we did a snow chain installation video, which also thanks to firefighter Cantrell, we created a YouTube page yesterday. So we're going to start to put some of our training videos onto the YouTube page, which will allow us to assign them out for training. So we're starting to build out the infrastructure for bigger things. Officer training, we have to do 12 hours of that a year. So we've been doing after action reports. So for 149 Ramahorn, the second alarm we did a pretty in-depth after action, presented that to all the groups. What we're doing with those after action reports, after any fire or significant event, we're keeping them. So that'll be something we can hand off to newer members as they come on, so we can pass along institutional knowledge a little more effectively. Nearest training, Chief Bassett provided officers on the new Nearest incident documentation training. So we rolled over to Nearest this year. So the chief gave us, all the officers, a brief how-to on that. And we're starting to learn. And I think as we're getting more familiar with it, we've had some pretty good success so far with good training. Strategy and tactics, we reviewed multiple dwelling fires. So again, we did a pre-plan of the view. We found some things on the code side that Fire Marshal was nice enough to help us out with to rectify. We did some training, strategy and tactic training on mixed occupancy fires. So like 88 Main Street would be an example of that. And then we did some training on house of worship fires, because this time of year, there's a lot of people in the different houses of worship. So we do some basic drills, just like where are they located, where their address is, because most people don't know the address to their house of worship. So we want to make sure the members know it in case we get a response for that. So that's our month in training. A lot of good effort from everybody, and we got a lot of good hours in. So
Thank you, sir. Continuing, I'll hold off on the fleet and since we have an objective item, agenda item, major events, activities, we did the holiday stroll, so we were out there, handing out fire safety information. That night, the Hanukkah event, working with throwing the annual candy, from the fire truck. We did that. We had the winter storm, which we had additional coverage on. For the storm, we did one call during the storm. And then, as Chief said, we changed over to NERIS, which is the federal mandate for reporting. So that we kicked it off on the 28th of December for a week to hopefully we didn't have any glitches. Everything went well for the week. And so January 1, all our new data is going to directly to the feds for all our fire reporting. So we're kind of working with that and seeing what data it's capturing and seeing what additional we want to capture on it. So it's a learning curve. Question on that or no?
No,
So
another new program, right?
yeah, I mean, honestly, it's
New fun.
it's
Boxes are
real time
different
data
places.
for the nearest. It's real time data for us that we could get from the feds. We did have the records management system in place that does a lot of that, but that's what the end result is. And budget as of January 1, January 2, we were at 53%, 44 spent, 53 encumbered, and then I posted the meetings there on our upcoming presentations.
Next, do you have some pending promotions you want to discuss?
Promotional ceremony, yes. So we're still pending a promotional ceremony for the captain and lieutenant promotion that we did not do in the fall. So usually the commission worked out a date and we opened a meeting in discussions with PD. We don't really need to open a meeting. So it's up to the commission if you want to schedule. So you open a commission meeting to do the swearing ins, or we just post the swearing in date and we invite the commission. So it's really up to.
You have a preference?
No, I mean, we just post a date. and
Yeah,
invite
I mean, we could still do it before a commission meeting. We just don't need to.
Right, you don't have to, just post a date prior to it and let's do it.
So
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
got the
I
meeting
could target.
scheduled,
So I'll target the night of the commission meeting.
Okay.
And then go from there, set it up and
Which
get
one-
everything in
If you
line.
don't want to wait or something to the following month or whatever, yeah.
Okay.
you can- The date works.
I will send a
And ask the officers.
Yeah, I'll ask them
Make
and,
sure they're around.
yeah.
Would
And
be
make
nice.
sure they're around and then,
Would be
and
nice.
everyone else. So, and I could get the date out.
Okay, thanks. Next is you want to go through the budget status.
The budget.
Sent the budget for 26. I don't know if we had any questions. You were just going through where we stood. I know you.
Well,
gave
for
us-
26, I just sent you where we were to
Yeah.
correlate with the chief's report. I don't know if you have any questions on FY 26. I just sent you that, where 53% and 44% came from. So didn't know if if you had any questions off of that. There's nothing.
Send my questions.
No, I did not.
I didn't-
That was on his email.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Next. In connection with the fleet status, let's move to the union grievance. Kevin, Betty? You want to approach? Can you speak, in detail to the safety issue outlined in the grievance, please, just so you know, everyone at this table, these
Is it-
5 have seen the grievance.
Is it a grievance or is it a
It's a
safety
grievance.
concern?
It's a grievance, safety related grievance.
I believe I'd be able to answer, I'll try to answer questions to the best of my ability.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have detailed questions? I mean, we've only seen it today, so.
Yeah, I just,
So I can start. So there's quite an amount of time between February and November. So I'm just curious, basically, the repair was denied. Any other events between the two, or it just stayed in service? Nothing was addressed until November when, and I guess it wasn't even addressed in November, wasn't it? Yes, I'm just curious why the distance of time it's coming out now, but the event happened back in February of last year, so.
So to some of my notes, we're talking about engine four. I just
Yeah,
want to
sorry,
make sure we're
yes.
correct.
The
Okay.
grievance is on engine four. so
Yeah, all
sorry,
right. I
yes,
just
correct.
wanted to make sure that I
You're
understood
on
the
the same
question.
page,
I assume you're asking the history of what had happened or,
So the history is outlined in the grievance, starts in February of 25 with the denial of the work order and then goes next in November. I'm just curious, there's almost a year between then and now. So was there any other events? Was it addressed in any other conversations or documentation? Or I'm just trying to get a
so if I,
history of.
yeah,
this.
so I guess what I could do is try to give you a little bit of timeline of what I've been able to document and create from Engine Four's history.
That's perfect.
Okay.
That'd be great.
So Engine Four was always, just so everybody knows, was our reserve backup rig.
Okay.
So it was not something that was fully equipped with equipment. And we kind of started slowly putting some money into the truck to get it more equipped and kind of get it set up so it's more functional instead of just being a rig that's sitting there. When something goes out of service, then we slap all the equipment on it and put it in service. So there was an unfortunate damage that was caused on November 13th where the door open indicator light wasn't working and the cab door was ripped off. That was in November 13th of 2024. Then the first work order that was documented where we were having issues where the truck wouldn't go into pump. So what that means is when you go and you put the truck into drive, you do the manual pump shift and you didn't get the green lights, it wasn't engaging.
Okay.
That was on February 2022 of 2025. All right. Now, at this point, we had started the repair on engine four. And I do remember, I don't want to speak for the chief, but I remember we were like, okay, if the pump's not working, we don't know what the extent of that is. Let's maybe put a pause on the repair because the repair was pretty extensive for the truck. So everything was paused at that point, and that was roughly between January and April. And then in that meantime, myself and Ed Carl took it upon ourselves to try to troubleshoot what could be the issue, whether it's electrical or mechanical. And, with that being done, we kind of played with some things. We checked the truck next to us to see what powers and grounds. We weren't getting to see if it was, maybe a bad switch or something simple. So that happened. I don't have the exact date, but that was roughly around the summertime. And then the truck had a pump test done because the manipulation that we were able to figure out, we were able to get the truck to turn on by, giving it the green lights to pump. And then we had the pump testing done was in August. I don't have the exact date, but John Shrum from Northeastern Fire Equipment, he comes down, they pump test all the trucks. It's pump testing is just, for blows and stuff. And then so I think the conversation that I had with John was where I think some questions are going to come out. I had asked John the manipulation that we had done. It was making a little noise at the pump, which is not normal because when you work these trucks, what it sounds like. He said the noise is normal. The truck is 25-year-old truck, like things aren't super tight. I was like, well, look, this is what I did. And I was like, am I going to hurt anything by that? And he's like, no, not at all. I was like, well, what are your thoughts on, I don't recall the conversation to the T. You'd have to call John and ask him. But I was like, well, would it be good, for putting the truck in service or whatever? And he's like, look, honestly, I don't know what you did. So he wasn't going to say, yes, absolutely. So, because he didn't do the manipulation and he wasn't there to look at the wiring that we did. It was just, we were able to get the truck to go into pump, and then they were able to flow test, and then the truck was derated. So there's a plaque on the side of the truck that says it's certified to pump so many gallons of water per minute.
Okay.
And that's a 1,500 gallon pump per minute. And it was derated because of other issues with the pump. Like there's some old valves that are leaking.
I think
So you get
discussed
blow
that
by,
in the last
yeah.
meeting, if I
Yeah. So
remember
you get
right.
blow by. So that's why it was 1,000. So you're still able to get water, but it was just low. So after that, basically we used the truck for training, because if it didn't go in the pump, it was no big deal. You know, you're not locking up a truck while we're training if a call comes in. So we just kind of used it for that.
Okay.
And then,
After your, I guess you want to call it rigging or whatever the case was, and the truck finished its pump test, was that rigging undone or?
I was advised.
No, it's fine.
yeah,
They're not
no,
doing-
it
you're not-
is-
You're
it
not,
is-
you're not a.
No, it was,
Mechanic.
it was
Okay.
undone.
I
It
just
was
want to
undone.
make sure that,
Yes.
yes, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not a capacity.
No, it's not. What was,
Okay.
what was done to just diagnose the problem was undone,
Okay,
you know, so it's no longer that way.
for a certified mechanic to fix.
Yes.
So it's a position now that one, it needs to be certified by a certified mechanic. Is that correct? I just
Well,
want
I
to make
mean,
sure I
if you
understand.
want to get the truck back in service, I mean, it needs to be repaired by what they call is an emergency vehicle technician.
Okay.
Because they're certified by Hale, which is a manufacturer that builds pumps, and Waterous, which is another major. There's other ones, but the Hale is the only one that we cover, we use in our
Hale
firehouse. So you have to be certified, take a class from them. And then there's also more stuff to, you know, get certified on. So that's who you would need to do the actual repair to guarantee you're certified.
All right. Anything else you want to point out just about the equipment status or the history?
We're gonna get.
I mean, and not letting,
Specific to this vehicle.
Are we
No.
gonna do this or you just want to read it? What do we, I mean, I have questions or?
No, it will be entered into the record, but at this point, we're basically
Well, I'm
listening to
just-
Kevin and then Albie will respond and you can ask questions all along the way.
I'm just looking at, all right, engine 4. It's one of our pumpers. We need it in operation. It needs to be ready to go at all times. I mean, I don't know if I'm wrong, but I mean, being there for as many years as I was, we need backup equipment. Always did, and we always do. Especially now with engine 1 being out of service right now. Engine 4 is out of service, so we have one engine, first 2 piece right now. I'm just asking questions.
yeah, you have engine 7 and engine 2.
7 and 2.
Well, engine 2 has a water leak, right? It flows water if it's parked on incline. It's limited for its compartment space.
Yeah.
So it's not like it can extricate, we can't put pools and we can't fill it and everything else. And you can't really roll first 2 piece as a structure, second pole or whatever else.
Yeah, it only has a 500-gallon water tank on it.
And if it parks on an incline, the water pours out of the tank.
Yes.
So that's an issue, right? So I mean, engine 7 should have been addressed and repaired. I mean, over the years, I mean, over the time that it was out, I mean, we do rely on it. I'm just asking questions. You know, was it fixed, not fixed? Why wasn't it fixed? We took an insurance claim on it to fix the door, to put it back in service. I'm just asking questions here because I'm gone. I've been out of there. In the last couple of months before I retired, I was
I
out.
think as to the why, why don't we let Albie respond?
Yeah,
and
that's
give
fine.
His comments and then.
Yeah, no,
We can get into that one maybe,
that's
rather
fine.
than presuppose what he is. to
No,
say.
no, that's fine, yeah.
Not denying the question.
No, 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 I just want to know, Chief, I'm sitting here, you know,
Yeah.
listening to this, being there, being retired for, you know, since September and out. And all of this stuff, I guess a lot transpired in the last 5 months, or a lot of stuff came out of the closet in the last couple of months since I've been gone. So I'm just asking questions that I've been removed. Like, you know, what are we doing to secure these guys here working every single day and our customers / taxpayers? What are we doing for them?
Yes, any response you have, including
Okay,
to his
so-
questions, I think you got the floor, so.
Yes, the truck was damaged. We did, I'll talk about the insurance claim first. As I spoke
fine.
about, last meeting. The money went into the account unknowns to myself,
Mhm.
and it was spent for other repairs on other apparatus, not knowing the money.
Was there
Was
more
there.
for that?
So that's where the body damage money is.
Okay,
Not anything for the pump, not
No, no, I
anything for the
understand.
pump. So that's where that is. The truck went out on calls 27 times in a year, and that's when we actually staffed it on volunteer nights that it was being staffed. So it's not a truck that's running all the time. I do like the truck in service, but it's not running all the time. In February, when Kevin sent me the email, the pump's not working, is when we were trying to do the body work. So I asked to stop the body work. And I wanted further diagnosis on the pump before we put more money into it, because we had already spent $16,000 on the pump that they guaranteed it was going to work, and now it's not working. So we wanted more diagnosis. Between the February and sometime in the spring, as Kevin already mentioned, that when Ed and him got the pump going and we were getting it into pump, it was doing what we wanted it to do. For the number of times that it actually went on calls and we were using it for training, it was working for what we wanted to. Then in testing it all the time, it went into pump and pumped 100% of the time.
On those 27 calls it went on?
No, every time we used it for training, it went into pump. We used it for a water supply class. That truck went in and out of pump and pumped thousands of gallons a minute in the class. So yes, I put the truck on the back burner because it was working with the fix that him and Ed, did. They made that fix, so it was working. Zach was there from New England Fire Apparatus. We weren't getting lights. Everyone was afraid to shift it you put it into a pump and no one wanted to put it in the drive. Zach put it into drive. And that's when we found out, oh, it's no big deal. So it was going into pump all the time and pumping. So that's why it went on the back burner at that point. But again, it only went out 27 times that it actually went on calls when we staffed it, when we had extra people.
So that 27 times it was working.
I can't say, no, it could have been, at times, it could have been between February. I would have to look specifically. Again, we're using it for staffing. We were definitely using it for staffing. That's
So
when
transportation of it.
in February, when that pump went down, we said we can still use it for staffing. It's still an equipment carrier and a personnel carrier. It gets
Okay.
people to the scene with air packs and equipment. So, that's kind of where we are now with those questions. So again, I made that management decision not to put the money into it in February based on where we were with the other trucks that we're trying to fix. And I knew where we were with money at that point, at the end of the FY25 budget. And then when Ed and Kevin got it working again, it went on the back burner.
Question on the insurance fix then.
Mm-hmm.
We were allocated money
Yep.
to do the repairs. The door was made,
I don't know how far it is, but yes.
Yeah. but I'm saying we paid for that door to get
The
fixed.
door's been paid
So
out of the insurance.
do we know where the insurance money, or did that 5,600, whatever it was for the door, did that come out of the insurance fund or did that come out of another line item in the
Well, it came out
budget?
of the insurance money. It all got put into the apparatus account unbeknownst to myself when it came
So
into
it
the
just went
budget
into a
director.
general repair account
It
of
went
dollars?
into our mobile repair account unknowing to myself or my administrative assistant when it went in there. So it just showed money available and it just kept getting paid. That's what happened. We had the ladder out at that time and we had, Seven was getting work, Seven was getting the body work done. So
So who deposited the
budget director, it
$26,000
came in,
into it?
whoever,
So when you paid for the door out of those funds,
I paid for the door. I asked them to give me the invoice for what they did so far, yes. So everything's paid that they did.
right, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's a truck that, the $20,000 was marked for that truck to get
They said
repaired and
what?
fixed.
Yep.
And it's not our money really, it's our money for the insurance is to make the truck repaired, to make it worth something.
Yeah, so if we want to fix it, it's coming out of the line item now, yes.
So now it's gonna come out of who knows where.
Right.
The town's got to allocate.
But I would have
those
had to get the money to fix the ladder and the other,
Well, whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, but that was one that was earmarked for that truck.
right, and that's the way they accounted for that money.
Okay.
Had no idea that it went into the account when it did.
Okay.
So we never knew we got.
So it
the
was
check
never a line
from-
item as for repairs to engine
Correct.
4, it was just thrown in the slush. All right.
That's,
That's fine. Okay.
so now we talked about that in budgets this year. How are we gonna handle insurance money coming up? Because the way we're handling it for engine 7 was not the way they wanted to handle it either. Engine 1, I'm sorry.
Engine 1.
Engine 1, they don't want to handle it that way either. So we gotta
We want
find.
to make sure that it's getting fixed and repaired and the money's there, that the insurance.
Well, the way they want to account for it and pay the vendor.
When the auditors come in, what do they say? Well, where'd this dollars?
That there lies the problem. Yeah, so that's,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's it. So yeah, if we finish the body repair, then it's coming out of our line.
Okay.
Yes.
So as it relates to the certification, is that something we're pursuing or we feel, or do you agree or disagree in terms of the need for that certification?
The pump certification.
Yes.
Well, the pump was derated prior to the last pump test. So, because they asked if we knew going into last year's pump test that it did not have the GPM requirement.
Yeah.
That was originally posted on there. So that I chose to pump test it anyway. For the little bit of money, let's give it a shot. We did some work on it. Give it a shot. It did come back at, I don't know if it's 750, Lieutenant, or
I think it was
12.
1,000.
It's 1,000. So at that, it came back at 1,000, but we knew it wasn't gonna pass to the rating it had on it. But we had New England Fire Apparatus test it anyway to see where it was. And then they put the plate on there at that point. Now, to say what we need, again, I like having that extra engine, absolutely, especially with the amount of company members we have and staffing all the time. It's awesome to see that many people go out on calls and have seats for them. But we only need, for our town, we only need 3,500 GPM worth of pumping apparatus.
Yeah, that's not a good scenario, Chief. You know that's
I-
well. We get calls back to back. We get
I'm
calls
not
from multiple-
disagreeing with you, but if we want to go with standards, I have 3,500 for this, for the incident plus one reserve.
Mhm.
So, that's where, so again, it's,
No, I know.
I mean, how many spares should we have? And that's where, we're trying to follow national standards. And okay, so ISO says this is what we should have in place for every piece of apparatus we have. Again, I want to replace that engine. There's no question about it. I don't feel putting the money into that engine now is worth it with a new engine coming in the next 8 months, 9 months.
But the new engine coming in is gonna be taking what engine spot?
I'd say engine 4, if I have to put 100,000 into it, right now, it's
You
gonna.
think there's that much money? I mean, what is it gonna fix the
The-
pump? Is what?
To get the pump to get in the shift, we got an estimate right now to rewire it for $7,600.
Okay.
To rewire it, with no guarantee it's gonna work.
Mhm.
And all right, and then I still need to put a pump belly in there to bring it back up to capacity if we want to bring it to capacity. Because right now that pump can't draft. So is it worth having that spare that can't draft? Without putting a new belly of the pump in, which is gonna be 50.
Oh, what are we
Plus.
talking dollar wise?
Hmm?
What are we talking dollar wise? If you're talking to put a new belly, spend the $7,500, put the $2,600,000 back into that. It was already accounted for. It's not even our dollars.
You're looking, I would say it's about 100,000 to get it to 1,500 GPM again.
Gonna cost that much to put a new belly in it?
Yeah, it's 50 grand.
Even if, I'm just saying though.
A minimum, that they saw
But
it's
if we spend $60,000 on that truck, $70,000 on that truck, how many years are we gonna get out of it if the cosmetics are done through the insurance company? What are we gonna get out of that truck and what's it gonna be
Well,
worth to us?
well, if I
5
have.
years, 6 years, 10 years?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a new truck in the 5-year plan, so you're looking at 5 to 8 years for that one, but we can always move it up once engine 2 comes in, or the new engine, whatever number we put on it. But if we look at a new engine, is it worth putting that much money into that and not get, engine 2 works right now. And I'm gonna question the engine 2 leak because there is no work orders on a leak on engine 2 that I found. I mean, I might be mistaken if I didn't search it correctly. I can't find a leak on engine 2.
I don't think there is, but I saw a video of it. on
Okay,
the hill
again,
leaking.
unaware of some of these issues when I'm making decisions, that if I don't see an issue with engine 2 on the work orders, I didn't know that we have an issue on it. I thought that we were talking about the tanker with the top leak when it's on a hill, which just got fixed. We picked the tanker up.
I'm just looking at engine 4, and the new piece of apparatus coming in hopefully by the end of the year. And what this is gonna cost to get fixed and utilizing it and using this engine every single chance we get, because I don't know how long engine 1's gonna, but if engine 4 was fixed in a timely manner, we would have 2 engines right now staffed. Or be able to go to work and do their job.
Agree. I'm not, yes.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just
Agree.
asking. So what I'm saying right now is that engine 4 is down and out of service. We're relying on less equipment to do our job. That's hard to digest because I can't say none of us can say when the next call is, when the call is back to back, when are we doing this, when are we doing
Understood.
that? So, and that's my concern, Chief.
Understood.
100%.
Understand.
You know,
Again, up until November, with Ed and Kevin's fixed, it was working. And then we were asked to take that out. So again, go ahead.
Can I jump in for a second? I think, Chief, the concern, at least from a liability side, is that we have an engine in frontline service without it being repaired by a certified technician. I'm not comfortable sitting here, and I think that's why I'd asked Lieutenant Betty to remove whatever he had done It's great that these guys can work on these trucks. But I think when it comes to an issue where we could be putting somebody at risk, that's what we have to look at.
I'm full support of it. That's fine. It got taken out, but again, until that day, it was going into pump 100% of the time, and until that moment, okay, it was working, and we were doing it. So that's why we're kind of behind the 8 ball now, because I didn't have a plan to try to diagnose that, and now we see what the cost is to diagnose and fix it and rewire it, because they can't find the problem because of the history of it. So, I mean, that's where we are. But again, engine 2 is working. So that's to put the money, we're getting rid of a rig in 8 months. So to keep engine 2, which is fully functional, that, I'll have to look into this water leak that doesn't need a pump right now. That's the management decision to say, okay, keep engine 2. It needs less work to get us through until another one gets on order.
Understand that, the dollar wise and the comparison, but how about carrying equipment and doing the job that way? Engine 2 does not have the compartment space engine 4 does.
True. I mean, we would have to look at that a little different.
Because if it's gonna go as a first new piece, it's gonna either have to carry some tools, it's gonna have to carry a lot more equipment than what those 4 compartments have on that rig. That's something that
we have to look and see what we're carrying.
We
Yes,
need to
but
look into that major. I mean, that's,
right.
Yeah.
4 wasn't. It never got to the point of running as a first 2 piece.
it's a Salisbury, it's a great piece.
Right.
It's always been a great
I'm not.
piece.
Yeah, I understand why.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
I get it, but
I'm just trying to figure out
Yeah.
dollars and cents, what it's gonna cost to do this, what it's capable of doing once it is on the front line. And whether it's 2 or 4 or whatever. That's all, that's my concern. We have to definitely look into that, see what's there.
Yeah, so as it relates to the, desired resolution to remove it from formal service and have a certified technician certify it, where do you stand?
well, my suggestion is take every piece of attack hose off of it, and it runs as a staffing carrier right now with tools and equipment. That's, it gets firefighters to the scene, which we need. We get 2 engines in the driveway. We need 20 something firefighters up the driveway. The engine can bring it there. So if I take all the hose off, decommission the pump, it's manpower carrier with tools and equipment.
But it doesn't become an engine now.
No, it's not running
It
as an
becomes a
engine.
taxi cab.
That's it.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, so we're down to 1 engine or engine 2, which.
Right
has some
now, with
issues.
with
So-
engine 1 out, you're running engine 7, the tanker, and then you have engine 2 as your third due piece out,
Right, I mean,
which is not, I get it. I support the rigs that we have. But when you look, again, comparing to other towns too, no one has the amount of spare apparatus that we have.
They have other houses.
I
too,
get it.
actually.
I get it.
It's a
I
big
get- I
difference.
understand, but
There's manpower.
right. I mean, you
You look
I mean,
at 30 guys on shift to
I
us.
understand, and we
houses.
can call mutual aid like they call us all the time.
No one's denying.
And that's been my position when we're down apparatus.
No, I understand. We call for mutual aid, but we also, initial attack also has to be.
I know. And we still have the tanker, engine 7, engine
I
2.
mean, we had a call back to back the other day. I mean, it happens here. It happens a lot more since I first joined in 78, Yeah, I'm just concerned about making sure that the guys are safe, our customers, taxpayers are safe, that, we're able to get 2 engines on the road and, be able to do those calls back to back, whether it's an execution and a job or whatever the case may be.
So where do you stand on the proposal to
I really-
decommission it?
I don't think we should decommit. I really think if it's $7,500 to fix it and we're into this thing, because we're not, it's 100. I don't think it's 100, but I think we need to find out exactly what it's gonna cost. I really
Well,
do.
it's 100 with the body work and
Well,
the
body
pump
work
and the
is
body
free.
work.
The body work is free. The insurance on
not.
that truck is
I
there.
understand it, but it's got to come out of the current budget now to get,
Well,
so
it
if I
was
get
already
it,
put there, the tax,
Right.
it's not coming out of the tax
Right.
dollars wallet, is what I'm saying. So to me, I look at that as free dollars
Okay.
that was already given to us.
That would
to fix
divorce
it.
the decision. 2 points, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking $7,500 to rework the pump, to do the electrical work on it, and to get a hard number on what it's gonna cost to put that pump at 1,000 gallons of service or whatever the case may be, is where, if the guys are on it, it can perform.
What time frame do you think it would take to get that rewiring done?
well,
And then have a better
it's,
assessment?
he gave, the quote is for 32 hours of work. The question is getting it, getting it done and having being able to put it out, so that it could be out of service, so they can do it. So that'll be the, discussion with the vendor.
Sure, because how long is engine one gonna be body work and
He
everything
didn't
else?
give us,
Good.
good. Yeah,
I just want to fill in a couple of blanks here.
Please.
There's 3 different vendors that have looked at engine 4.
Okay.
Gallons a Night did the pump service. And we did get to a point where there was some issues where a part came from inside the tank because there's usually a screen to protect from debris that went in. They were like, we don't know how far it went. It wasn't that bad. It didn't do any damage to the pump, but we had gotten to that bill. I think the chief was like 16,000, but there was a couple valves that were rebuilt that maybe needed to be redone again. So I think some of the issue might be Gallons a Night did the pump service.
Yeah, thank you.
Gallons a Night did the pump service. Northeast Fire did the pump test, which is flowing the water. And now we have another company that looked at the electrical problem.
Right.
You know,
I'm just-
so
yeah.
I think that,
I mean,
one
we're pointing
sh-
fingers and.
well, no, I think that there might be, my only, now I shouldn't be giving my
Very
opinion, but I
curly
think my
mower.
opinion is, I don't know if John knows the valve problems that are going on and he wasn't able to draft like he wanted to. So I just I think that my opinion, one shop should really give it a full diagnosis from stem to stern of like, what really is going on? We may not need a midship rebuild like John could have made him,
No, I understand. That's why
yeah.
I'm saying the chief is like, we got one guy saying one thing, one guy saying one thing. He's trying to gather all the information together to execute something. We need to be everybody on the same, one vendor to make the repairs. We've always used one guy to fix stuff. Unless Gallons a Night has said to us, yeah, that's a suspension issue, take it to Superior. Or if it's a Detroit issue, take it to Detroit.
I just don't want anybody to make a conclusion with 3 different points of view
No,
and
I
not
understand.
having
That's
all the
why I'm like,
information.
That makes sense. I'm in favor of getting that full analysis, and if we need to allocate more funds, then we can go. and
I
execute
agree.
that.
Let's fix it. I mean, my attitude is, I just always looked at stuff being here for a while. We've always had calls back to back. It's always nice, whether it's going up to country club or going to do fireworks or whatever the case is, we still need those 2 pieces to be able to perform. And if that 3rd piece is there for fireworks, that's great. That's my concern about the truck. And then I'm just going through, some of this other stuff that is brought to our attention. It's like, so engine 4 was put into service and used, not an adequate.
Engine 4 was asked to run when the tanker went down as the alter.
I'm just reading this stuff now.
Right, so-
I'm just
so am
trying
I.
to figure out everything that's here.
Yes.
Yeah, my concern is that, the truck was put into service not performing.
Again, back to, based on the decision that it's been going into pump 100% of the time, every training, every time we worked with that piece of apparatus, after Kevin and Ed did that, whatever we want to call it, repair, it was going into service and pumping.
Okay.
So when engine 2's wheel seal was leaking, we had a scheduled date, which was the end of November. A guy that I trust a lot with the apparatus said, it's not a big deal, but don't run it on everyday calls. If it could go for the big one. So when we put the memo out, it was asked to have engine 4 run the automatic alarms as the second due piece and let engine 2 just go still be like the water supply and doing that.
Okay.
So that's where when the alternator went, it's like, okay, just move engine 4 up based on that memo. When I knew engine 2 had the wheel seal leak, was the reason why engine 4 went in place. Again, it's based on that pump going into pump all the time that I worked with it, that we were working.
You're saying the decision was made to put engine 4 in service, the pump was working sporadically or whatever?
Engine 2 was working fine too, except for the wheel seal, which then the amount of times that it could go out on calls, because when the truck moves, it was leaking. That's when the seal leaked. So to go out every day on all the calls, that was more detrimental to the wheel seal than it was the brakes, as I got it, than just the one time. That's what was the advice that was given to me.
Is there a view as to who, if there's going to be a shop that does the work, is there a view as to who that should be to get a fulsome view as to what work needs to be done?
I think we got to ask them all. There's pros and cons on all of them. The last one that, was on the phone with Hale, He's got a very good knowledge right now of what's going on with it and what needs to happen. I think some of our other vendors start to pull stuff apart and it gets, super expensive to try to figure out what's going on. So, I mean, I think we sit down and figure that out before we commit to any one,
Not
but we
taking
do have the
comments.
quote for the one for 7,600 for the wiring.
Yep.
Because that came directly from Hale. That, Hale said that you gotta pull all the wire out because of whatever's going on over the 27 years that truck's been in existence is, something's not right because there's power to wires that aren't supposed to have power and there's no power to other ones. So something that was done over its lifetime, over a quarter century, that's not right in the pump shift.
All right. So what I'm hearing is we need to get them, go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry.
Do we spend $7,600 a hail on the pump shift? And at the same time, ask them to do an evaluation of what is the condition of the pump and valves? Does that work?
We can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to read everything that's here and take it all in because I really get how
I'm
much
just looking
time.
at the solutions.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying, like, I'm just seeing the impact, by placing
Understood.
engine 4 in service.
I
and
understand,
stuff.
I understand what you're doing, Mike.
I mean,
Go
we
on.
need to, no, I understand. So, yeah, no, I think we really need to put engine 4 up and running. It would be nice to have it right now fixed. So let's do it.
It's always nice to have.
Yeah, I know.
a truck. Okay.
So does it make sense to go to Hale for that or we have?
Well, it's gonna be a vendor that knows Hale, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
agree.
think Hale would do the actual work, but the
Okay.
vendor that knows Hale, yeah.
So we go to the hail guy.
Does that make sense to you?
I mean, whatever the recommendations are to have it looked at.
Recommendation right now
Kevin,
is-
Talk to me, buddy. I mean,
Right. I
you're
mean,
a man
we-
with some of the knowledge here, like help us out.
Yeah.
You think it makes sense to you? We respect your opinion.
Well, I just think that there was 3 different vendors that weren't communicating. So I think that there
Yeah,
could be.
Right.
We agree with that. We're just
Yeah,
trying to
100%.
determine where it should go to get this assessment.
Right, start
That's
with
why
the
I'm
pump.
saying we go
Yes, I mean,
$7,600, we get the shift fixed. And, once it shifts, then, then we can pump test it. And, knowing what we know about quote valve issues, hand that back to the pump tester, and sit there and say, okay, the question seems to be, are we in here for valve rework or are we in here for pulling the pump?
Yes. I mean,
Doesn't that seem to
right.
be like,
Those are the 2 ends. Yes.
yeah,
That's where we
so,
are.
I mean, do the pump test, find,
Do the $7,500
Yeah.
repair.
yeah, are we leaking are we leaking, in the guts of the pump? I mean, I don't
Is
know
all
what
packing
seals
bad?
are
Is it
blown
right?
or whatever's in there, but,
Packing bad, valves bad. What are we doing?
Yeah,
Something's
you know.
happening not to get this thing to 1,500 gallons.
did we blow the impellers, so,
Correct.
okay.
It needs,
Alright.
yeah.
So are we in agreement that at this point,
We need to get, yeah, I mean, it needs to be done. I'm just, engine 4 needs to be brought up to.
So, well, that would be my recommendation, it's
I
sort of
agree with
up
that.
to you
You
guys.
agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
All right. All agreed? All right. In terms of the formal grievance, the commission will respond likely at the next meeting formally. So just so you're aware, this was just filed today, so we will respond formally. But anything else that you want to ask on this topic or on this grievance of any party at the table? Stan, Mike?
No, right now, we'll just discuss it, whatever. We got to figure out. I mean, I want to read the whole thing,
Yeah,
go
it's
through,
fine.
ask questions about,
That's
I'm
fine.
looking
It
at
was
the
only filed
impact,
today. We're taking our
what
time
happened
before
and
we-
why it happened, I'm reading this, that there was, guys were put at risk, whatever else, chief, but with the piece going into service and that type of stuff. I just want to know what's what and, where's all this coming
Right,
from?
and that's November, I think.
Yeah, I just want to know, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
before I blow, ask more questions, I need to find out what questions I need to
So
ask.
we'll likely have an opportunity to discuss
Yeah,
this at the next
correct.
meeting as well. Anything else you want to put on the record in terms of the details of the grievance or the discussion around engine 4?
Not unless you have any other further questions that I could try to assist with.
Okay, all right. Not at this time, but we will likely be
Oh, we'll
discussing
have-
this, as I
yeah,
said, and
there'll be
responding
more,
formally
I'm
at the next meeting. Alvin,
Yeah.
anything else you want to?
No, I mean, if you want to wait till the next one, read it and then the timeframes with all the Norwalk engine and everything else, we can do that at the next one also. So
That's fine.
Yeah, that's all part of it. It may be a special meeting, maybe just to address this one item. Who knows what it's gonna be? We need some answers, I guess, is the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, at this
all
point,
parties involved.
at this point, this was only filed today, so he needs some
Correct.
time to
Exactly.
formally
Just-
respond. So,
Yeah.
all right, okay. So I think we have our marching orders on that one. The next is the fleet status discussion around the other.
All right, so right now, our status, engine one just went up to Gallon's Night today, for
Thanks,
the
guys.
body work. They finally got the door in.
Thank you.
And they're gonna start the body work, and Lieutenant Vetty has provided them with a list of, service items, including the regular service that's due on it. So they're gonna start, working on that. It was down, right around New Year's. It wouldn't start. We did a lot of diagnosis on it based on, phone calls on New Year's Eve or day after. It was New Year's night, I think, and the day after. They originally thought it was power distribution module. They replaced that. They found out it was I don't have the final report on it yet, but there was some fuses half blown under the dashboard. So that, I mean, there was they were deep into electronics under the dashboard, but it ended up not being the PDM that ended up doing it. So
Never believe anybody who tells you fuse is half blown.
yeah, it's
They're blown.
yeah. I mean, he was talking, I wasn't writing, so we were standing in the bay.
Conducts or doesn't.
Yeah, we're standing in the base. There was a lot of electronics going on there, but it's running now. It's up and running. Everything seems to. It's been working since it's up at Gallon's now, like I said. Okay. We talked about engine 4, engine 2. Besides the water leak that I did not. There's no work order on, so I don't know exactly what's going on with it. But the on scene came down. They repaired the drop chains. They checked the work order on air tanks. They did pass inspection, and we're going to evaluate. Do we want to have them changed out next on the next service? If we want to do that, I guess that'll depend on which apparatus we choose to keep and not decommission moving forward with the new engine.
Wait, just back up a second. You said after engine 2 drop chains,
The engine 2 drop chains were repaired. The air tanks were written up for excessive rust on the exterior. They did an inspection on them. They feel they're still in decent shape. There's no apparent leaks or anywhere they feel that they're going to fail.
okay.
And it's our discretion whether we want to replace them. And I have an estimate pending for the next time they're down.
No
So
problem, chief. Just-
Is anything
you
put
can
on the
talk
rust
faster
to
than I
stop
can
it?
take notes.
no problem. I could forward this to also.
Was anything put on the rust to stop it and,
The rust?
Yeah.
No, they didn't put anything on.
No,
it.
I'm saying, are we gonna put anything on it just to save it? I mean, you're talking about maybe keeping this thing. I mean. what
Well,
are we gonna do?
that, again, it's all, we could just replace the tanks if, that's the,
And then I know the intake on that truck, we've had it when I was there, the intake on the bottom of it is rusted out on the bottom of the intake for the pump on drafting. So there is a
I'll
little,
have to,
there is some rust, there is some, still it's hard sometimes to pull a draft with is one of the issues. 'Cause, the intake, it needs to be addressed.
And you'll follow up to see what work order needs to be filed for engine 2.
Yeah, water
Or if
leak.
one needs to be filed, I mean,
yeah.
just.
All right.
the comment made, so.
Yes, the engine 7 I had no reported issues on here, but as Lieutenant and I were bringing engine 1 up today, I guess they have a air leak on the auxiliary side. I don't know if we have any further on that, Lieutenant, since you got back. Nothing yet? Okay. It sounds like it's on the auxiliary side, but yeah, we that was the only report for engine 7. Ladder 3 is back in service. We were crossing our fingers. It was going to fit in the bay with the new springs and then
tight.
then new tires that we put on, and it fits. We're good. We had some door issues, but it's it. But we changed the tires on ladder 3. Lieutenant again he was talking to Stanford, and actually Norwalk ran those same tires on their tandems that are less aggressive. So for us, for the most of our turns that we're doing, it's going to be less aggressive for the rear end. That was the recommendation.
Solid, smooth rubber on the outside instead of a lug, so you don't.
Yeah,
get
so
chopping.
the rears are gonna slide more. We might, if it had to go up a muddy driveway, then that might be a problem, a little less traction, but for most of our calls, that's what we put on there's decent tires. So that's all set, good to go. Rescue 5, no reported issues. We cleared some issues with what's that?
The Rescue 5 just came back a couple months ago.
Yeah, it went up for the generator, and that
What is
was,
with the gen, that's been an issue since day one. It's really. it's
which they,
output.
yeah, talked to Harrison again. The generator actually went out to Harrison a couple visits ago, and they said it's, yeah, nothing,
Is the generator adequate in that rig I mean, because it was a problem, we pretty much took delivery of it.
well, yeah, well, they did, now it goes into high idle when you put the generator. So that's what they changed. It automatically goes into high idle. So that's what they want. It's still gonna throw an alarm for a second or two when it goes in, because you're gonna get a low voltage
The
alarm.
local, right.
But they said if it does, you know, if it stays on for 2 seconds, you're fine.
Doctor, it hurts when I.
Oh,
do
we
this.
did undercoat. I had it on, I got like within 2 weeks, I
Yeah.
did 2 different reports. So the
On
third,
ladder
we
three.
had the undercoating done on ladder 3 when it was up getting its springs done.
Mhm.
And we also did a different type of undercoat at Gallons. It's not the same that they did at on ladder 3, right? That's a different undercoating.
Gallons did their, that spray,
power
power
washing
washing and
Yeah.
ironclad to prevent further corrosion on
the Yes.
RS5.
Before we get ahead, go back to engine 7, chief.
Yep.
On the motor on that puppy, with the blow by and everything else, is there gonna be money put in the budget? If that's
Then-
gonna-
Where I upped,
Because I know last meeting, we discussed that to put the money, whether it's 35,000 for in-frame rebuild or 65 for a new one.
I asked the day after the commission meeting, we've increased the FY 27 to 145,000 for mobile equipment repair, which counts for 50 grand in, which I, yeah, 50 grand for emergency repairs now, plus the 30 for the motor repair. And hopefully we could get 50 back next year. Keep my fingers crossed for a change. If we don't have major things, but, tanker, again, that came back with everything. They fixed the leak on the top of the tank. They redid, it went up when firefighter DePanny was driving it back. He heard a turbo noise. He brought it back. They actually, didn't tighten the clamps down enough, so they changed all the clamps out and everything. And it also, when it went back, they did a inspection on it, and they called me to see if I wanted brakes done. So we did the brakes. So we moved up the rear brakes and got them done while it was still up there. So I kept it out of service for a little longer.
When Tanker was up there at Gallons, did they fix the lights? Did they fix the chutes? Did they fix everything? And
No,
what
that
was
all
the-
got
and
reported
what's the
after.
safety concerns on that, those frame rails that were 2 years old of notification that there was an issue?
No frame rail work. When it was up there, they just did the top of the tank and the coolant work. So no other work was done on that at this point.
I mean, we need to get
The
lights or whatever for the guys to be able to pump and the frame rails. I mean, it's 2
Well,
years old.
none of that went up with, I don't know if we sent up throw you on the spot here. We didn't send up a list with some of them tankers, the chute switches came in after it came back. The work orders
Oh,
for
that-
that.
There was one in there prior.
Did Gallon, I don't know if Gallons had
No,
that.
I'm asking,
Yes.
the last list I saw and stuff that was there. And then the frame rails was
Right.
a couple years old. I'm just, last meeting we discussed the frame rails.
Well, yeah.
Are they
well,
doing an
weren't gonna do-
inspection on it when it
well,
was there, or they sealing? it? I mean,
They did not tell me anything different than what we know about the frame rails at this point. So again, we're back in the discussions we moved $1 million up for a potential refurb of that. So we're kind of in limbo on the frame rail right now that.
but if it's a safety issue, chief, we can't wait. I mean, that's my concern.
Nobody said the frame rails have been a safety issue. None of the vendors.
This is
said-
2 years ago from Gallons a Night.
No, I don't have that. They just said that, we want to get that, we should be looking at that if we didn't want to do when the tank was leaking, we had an issue that we need to address the tank leak back in 2022 or 3.
The water tank is leaking on the frame rails, causing a severe corrosion and damage to other components. This is a safety issue and needs to be addressed.
Now,
Now, this
They've
is the
had that
frame
trouble.
rails. This was done in,
23. Right.
right, November 1st of 23. Rear brake shields are missing. Top of fuel tank is leaking, sheet grave. I'm just asking questions about, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
If it's telling me it's a safety issue, Gallons a Night is on the frame rails. So I'm just wondering, in 2 years, what
Okay.
else has happened?
Well, the tank was fixed in 2023 and nothing was brought up. We know the frame rails are corroded, but the safety issues assumed been fixed by the tank leaking, not frame rails. I was never told the frame rails are a safety issue. The tank leaking onto them.
I'm just reading their
Right.
work order. that
No,
they sent
they've
to
had
us.
that truck a half a dozen times since then, and they never addressed, they would never send it back to me if there was a safety concern. They don't do
I would
that.
say from what you read.
Yeah,
That
This
is.
is,
Yeah.
No, I understand,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, they list a whole bunch of things and then they
Right.
say, this is a safety issue.
this was the first thing. It says number one, please note.
no, the leak, yeah.
No,
we
it's the
addressed that,
frame rails.
yeah.
The water tank is leaking, so it's causing a severe corrosion on the frame rail due to the tank leaking. They
Correct.
fixed the leak in the tanks, but there was nothing done about the frame rails. That's, you know what I'm saying, and then,
Well,
No, can we get them to render an opinion on that?
you know my feeling about the frame rails. I think I made that pretty clear.
Well,
do something to them, I mean, or just tell me they're good, I mean, something.
well, they can either, like we talked about last month, we could do the needle scale and do that work, or now that we've moved up the potential refurb, if we go down the refurb, then the trucks can go off for refurbishment all at once if they get the
Well, I'm
work.
saying- But
I
then there
mean,
was
that's where we
the
are.
estimate, the quote given to fix the frame rails and to fix the rust and everything else for 45,000 that was given to you too.
That was from Fleet Image, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we had-
Well,
right.
they gave a price due to what G and K said.
Correct.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I guess there's some type of issue if you put these things
Yes.
together.
Correct.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
asking.
there is rust on the frame rail, but
Well, I understand.
we are we're looking at Seagrave to tell us they came down to look at the potential for refurb for that, and we're waiting for their final opinion on that. And then we can make that decision.
Is this
Right,
the-
you're talking
is
about a
this the
refurb
essay
now.
that they
This
did?
is 2 years ago is what I'm saying. This was 2 years ago, this incident.
GK, yes.
And also from Images.
No, that was March. Fleet Image came to March. They quoted the ladder and
Okay.
the tanker.
But in 2 years from GK to having Images do the frame, what has the frame done on the tanker to prevent it, stop it, slow it down, any repairs?
We have not done anything.
Okay, I'm just saying,
Yes.
because
Because
the
then
way
we start-
GK states,
right.
it's a safety issues is what it says on the work order.
Okay.
So that's my concern.
We're agree to disagree because I read that as the tank being the safety issue. Again, the truck has been to GK numerous times since 23, and no one's ever said it's been a safety issue. They would have never let the truck lead.
So I think.
I'm just saying,
I think we need to formally
Well,
clarify.
Well,
we know the frame rails need attention, yes,
You've got this Seagrave assessment.
still
Is this the
pending,
one that we still haven't gotten a report over 6 months later?
yes.
What-
I
is this-
believe we talked about this at the last meeting also.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I just wanted to make sure that I'm still grounded, Cheryl. You know, that,
I just,
all right. My feeling is we just, you know, I mean,
is this
I mean-
Grant though, or is this
No,
Seagrave
this
himself?
is Seagrave,
Corporate or whatever you want to call it?
where are they out of? Wisconsin, thank you.
Oh, so it's
Seagrave,
corporate.
Wisconsin.
Oh, so it's corporate.
Yes, and yes, I think, again, we feel that they should give us the best opinion.
Oh, I'm not denying
GK
that.
will tell us to ground the truck and buy a new one, if it comes down to it, probably. That's what they're, so that's their, but that's Craig's vision, the way he looks at stuff. He would never put a tanker together with that much weight, that much water. He's gonna be a little hesitant on doing that from what we get.
So while we wait for this to come back, what's the best way to assess if there is a safety issue or not currently? Because if there is, then it's a different.
I think I just,
my
Paul Gowan's
opinion, my
late.
opinion has been, you know, and
Paul
I've
Gowan's
expressed
right,
that
ask
to other
them.
people is, if Seagrave's unresponsive on this,
Right.
call them up and, and tell them, like, send it tomorrow. And if they sit there and go, well, then we find somebody else to do it.
Oh, I agree. I mean,
Commissioners, I believe maybe Lieutenant Betty can speak to this. I think we talked about this at the last meeting and there was an email in regards to that.
was
In
there,
regards
address
to,
that.
You got to step up to the mic, buddy. Are
was
you
there an
in
email
green?
sent back from Seagrave with this issue or communicating that they were looking, have looked or anything?
Well, the only email that I saw was we were in the chain that they were entertaining
Right.
refurbing the tanker and they were waiting to get approval, if I remember correctly, from Seagrave Corporate on their proposal to email the chief.
Okay.
So,
So we got two assessments. One is the assessment of getting information for the refurbishment. The second is to clarify if we have a safety issue.
Which, yes. And again, and Seagrave looked at the truck in June and didn't tell us to ground it for anything safety. Correct? I mean, he didn't have, I mean, he said there's corrosion and we got to address it sooner than later. But if we were looking for, let's go down the refurb, it's going to get sooner than later. That's the, if we weren't going to refurbish it and we're going to keep the truck for 5 more years waiting for a new one, then I think then we go a different avenue on that and get, okay, let's send it out for needle scale. But now if we're looking for a refurb sooner than later, it's going to all get sent out and get done.
I understand everything's gonna get done, but my only concern is from being notified by GK on this, what their quote says to us and their thing, being 2 years down the road, then we're gonna do a refurb. It's another year and a half to get an appointment and then, it's another year. That's all I'm saying is there's a big time lapse here and the truck is getting used every single day.
So
What
let
is
me
the
ask the
extent of
same
that
question.
damage?
What is the best way to assess whether there's a safety?
I
issue?
just
Go
think
back
maybe
to
a phone call
Seagraves
to
and-
Jim at GK and ask him, like, the truck was just there. What did you find out about it?
We can ask Jim.
what, was there a DOT that was done, I believe, on the tanker?
Yeah, it was just
but
done.
Not
I got,
everything was, not every box was checked.
Okay,
And that was a concern of mine, which I was, because I looked at the inspection done and there was nothing checked off on the frame rails. That box was left empty. And that's a concern. Why?
You showed
I'll ask Jim.
you showed me
Yeah.
the DOT on tanker rate, didn't you?
yeah, I think it
Showed
was,
to me. I looked at it,
I
but
don't
I'm
have
saying
no
that whole
concern.
frame rail section wasn't checked. There was no notification. There was nothing on it. He left it blank. And when I asked him a question about it, he said to me, I will find out why and what. And there's a report.
I know the trailer section was left blank,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'll have to look at it.
That's my.
Because everything passed that I saw,
Yeah.
Again, they've been very good. When something doesn't pass, the truck doesn't leave the shop.
Well, and that's why I want to make sure, because at Christmas time, there was a conversation about that, and I want to make sure that what is said then and what it was said the other day, that Jim Woods, and I questioned him about the inspection and why the frame rail section was left open. He said to me, we're doing an additional report on it. So that's what I want to know, what's what and what's happening.
So can we follow up on that?
I
report?
guess, because this is the
we need
first
to.
I'm hearing about
No, I know,
any
I just
additional
spoke to him
reports
the other
that.
day, yesterday when I
Right.
got there.
And I just saw, we were there today and he did not say anything about owing me anything else,
No,
except
so that-
one invoice that he owed
All
me.
right.
So
So
is
I
that
didn't-
acceptable to you? We get
Yeah,
this
I'm gonna call him
additional
tomorrow
report?
and find out. I will reach out to Jim tomorrow and say, ask, or Eric, if he's there, or whatever. Just ask him questions like, you sent the report saying the truck was inspected, this section's left open, why, what? You said, we're gonna look at it, because I asked him a while ago in Christmas time about the frame rails and everything else, that this is something that's negligent on our part. If you're telling me it's a safety issue, we're not fixing it, and somebody gets hurt, yeah, it's us, all of us, who know about it, and that's not acceptable.
I think we need to get that
Yeah.
clarification, so I think
All
we'll
right.
be good. I think there's enough of a question around that.
There is,
We
there is.
should-
I
we
just-
should
yeah.
Just get the answer. It's-
Cool, no, that's cool, I'm good.
All right, I don't hear any objections. Fine with that?
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, Kevin.
I think that's it on the, for that. The only thing I mean, again, I'm trying to do what needs to get done on the apparatus. I can't, if I'm not getting told what is happening and we're
No,
working
I-
on getting the work orders, but if people are calling vendors and getting different information and it's not getting back to myself or even Bill, we
Right.
can't fix problems that we don't know about or what's going
And
on.
that's what I'm gonna find out, because
I can't, we can't work like that.
he stated he was gonna talk to you about it, so I'm gonna find out why. he was-
I think
And
from
you
a
saw him
process
today.
stand. And I
That's what I'm saying,
talked
because
to
you were
him
there
numerous
today.
times in the last week.
And that's what I'm gonna
Today I
find out.
saw him face to face and that nothing was talked about frame rails in the last week.
So I think from a process
I
standpoint,
need to
then
find out
it would be
if-
good to send out the message to,
No, I will.
all actives that if there's an issue, a work order needs to get filed. Like, we
Yes,
just
I mean,
need to
that's,
base that
yeah,
on
we're
the-
working on those processes.
For the process. All right,
Nope,
thanks.
that's,
All right, anything else on the equipment?
No, sir.
nope, I'm good, I'm good.
All right. Sven, you had asked us to add the Lions Club equipment donation to the agenda. You want to address?
Yeah,
that?
I got a note from John Amarilios, and I'll just read it. Sven, just a reminder that the Lions Club would like to make a donation to the fire department of $1,000 to $2,000 to cover any needed items that the department may require for health and safety of its employees, and I assume also volunteers. The club is oriented toward vision, so protective eye equipment may be a suggested direction to consider. So I
Okay,
don't know, I don't know, you know, what we need to do, Cheryl, you know,
Maybe get a
to
camera
accept
with
a
vision.
gift.
You can accept a gift. We can put it into special projects and then figure out how you want to use it. But it would have to be, again, towards vision or something for that's safety related for paid or volunteers.
Is that just considered a restricted grant, Cheryl?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you know, they said, you know, is oriented toward protective eye equipment may be a suggested direction to consider. So
Does
You
they have
know.
a value or no? Did they
What?
say how much?
1 to 2.
$1,000
they
to
said.
$2,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
It's considerable pile of cash.
A camera's,
I
visual.
mean, the Seeks, I mean, we can poll the members tomorrow and if the Seeks are worth doing more, 2,000 is not gonna get a thermal imaging camera. A good one, but maybe Seeks, but.
Well, I think they were thinking of,
That's a lot of
pe-
safety glass.
Yeah,
I have enough, I mean, that's a lot.
We're gonna,
Um,
visual.
but,
we'll get back to you by the.
No, no.
so anyway,
Okay.
let me know and I will be
Toward
happy to
vision.
Good
contact
opportunity.
you.
Let's brainstorm how to use it.
Yeah, $2,000 vision.
Yeah, try
You
not
wanna
to
say
leave any
something?
money on the table.
No, don't leave it.
What else?
All right, old business. New business. All right, the next regularly scheduled meeting is February 10th. Town Hall, 5 PM. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move. Adjourn. So move.
Second, everyone in favor? Aye.
What time is it?
Aye, it is 6:11.
I can stop recording.
Yes, it is stuff. Thank you.
Flashlights?
Yeah, why not?
Vision itch.
It helps vision. Can't see in the dark.
Yeah, we can, brainstorm like a,
Ed, don't run away. I need to talk to you about old engine 4.
Okay. All right. Okay, I mean, well, yeah. Yeah, we can,
Thank you, commissioners. Have a good night.
Paul,
Thank you.
I'm gonna make a suggestion for you too, for Q3, is that you have to out what's cost to bring to repair the police.
Oh, yeah.
So,
The tank was.
I think it says you're building a double. We should have-
that's already in process, isn't it? Actually.
The air tanks on, there were.
No, I don't know the air tanks.
The-
We're
I'm
still,
not gonna say who reported the air tanks, so someone's.
we're still recording.
I know.
Shows it's
And
still.
maybe just